right? You walk in the door, man, it's hot in here. What do you do there? You turn it down, you turn that television on, you throw a load of clothes in the washing machine, you start cooking dinner, televisions come on, and then finally you go to sleep. So this load profile is not representative of a student, but it's representative of our entire state. Okay? And each one of those lines is the day of the week. So this is how we meet that amount of electricity that you guys are going to use. All right. So basically, in the state of Kentucky, the cheapest production of electricity is from what fuel source? Coal, right? Apart from hydro if you have it, okay? So you can't run hydro 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? It's not all the way across. This is a 24-hour day, right? You can't run it all the time. Why?
Water runs out.
Water runs out. You might not have enough water, okay? We have an allotment of energy that's water-driven or water-produced from the Tennessee Valley Authority because we were one of the 14 utilities that was already in business when the TVA was formed. And it was a federal program for flood control. And oh, by the way, we're going to make electricity. So it was for agricultural purposes. Electricity was secondary. And because it was using everybody's dollars in the nation, right, they needed to spread the wealth. So they said, well, if you're the utility back then, you're going to get part of our electricity at a really, really cheap rate. And we still have it in place today, which is awesome. So that's primarily what our hydro is. But you know what? I've only got so much coal, right? So here's our load profile, and then by the mid-afternoon, 2 o'clock, well, it's earlier than that, 11 o'clock in the morning, what happened? I run out of coal, man. I run out of coal-fired units. Now, if I'm lucky, I've got a little bit of solar, right? So why is that window so short? Yeah, and that's only one time when the sun's out, right? So if you got some, you got some, but you certainly can't dispatch it over here because the sun's going down at 7 o'clock at night. So what's the next thing I'm going to dispatch or turn on? Yeah, I'm going to turn on units that burn natural gas. Right. Well, natural gas is good, and natural gas has got some negatives, right? Natural gas is great because it's pretty clean, right? Not a whole lot of emissions going out the stack like a coal-fired plant. But what's the drawback? Dude, it costs a lot of money, right? So we try to minimize that. So starting about here, all the way till here, we're running natural gas. And as a consequence, they're called peaking units or peakers because they're running during the peak of the day, electrically consumption-wise, right? But I've only got so much of that natural gas available to me, so what am I doing in the red?
Buying it.
I'm buying it, okay? I'm buying it. Now, I don't have time to go into philosophically why this is like this. Somebody might argue, well, why don't you just have enough generation to meet your own needs? And the short answer is because it sure does cost a lot of money to build a generator that burns natural gas. It's only going to run 4 hours a day for a couple of months in the summer, right? So the capital cost outlay for me to build a power plant is not offset by my ability to buy energy from my neighbors cheaper, okay? Now, everybody can't follow that model, can they? So eventually it's going to run out. But for now, we're in pretty good shape. And the thing about it is, TVA's got a lot of what kind of power that we don't have in Kentucky?
Nuclear?
Nuclear power, all right? So you can't turn a nuclear plant on and off on a daily basis, right? It's got to go.
Yeah.
It's got to go to the grid, all right? So we used to be able to buy tons of nuclear energy really cheap, starting at 1 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the morning. It was awesome. But that's all went away. It's all gone away. Right, so I sort of tipped my hand. We're going to try to shave that peak, okay? Let's get that peak down so that means I can reduce the number of purchases I got to make. So if you're selling a product and you're having to buy a product from somebody else, who's making the money? The guy that's selling it to you, right? I'm not making any money by buying a product and selling it to you. It's costing me money, all right? So let's get that peak down. So one of the tools we use is demand-side management. The new term is direct load control. And that's where the utility takes control of consumers' appliances. The utility takes control of consumer appliances. All right? Dynamic pricing of electricity is a very strong tool that can help consumers take advantage of these kinds of rates. The simple one is a time of day rate. Electricity costs more during the daytime than it does at night. So as a consumer, what would you try to do? Turn your dishwasher on at nighttime. Turn your clothes dryer on at nighttime. All right? Time of use rates. What the utility does is, at the end of the month, figures out what did it actually cost me to use electricity when you actually used it. And I would adjust my bill accordingly. And then real-time pricing can get extremely complicated. All right? Extremely complicated. But what happens on this model is at 4 o'clock today, I'm going to say what my electricity price is going to be for every hour the next day starting at midnight, regardless of what happens. Regardless. So you, as a manufacturing facility, can kind of plan what you might use consumption-wise for that day, knowing exactly what the energy is going to cost you. Not only am I going to give you the firm price for the next day, I'm going to give you what I suspect the price will be for the next following 3 days beyond the first day. So now you're almost looking at a window of a week to schedule your manufacturing. We got a pilot project, but we don't have any takers on that. Energy storage. Energy storage is a big thing, right? If you can produce electricity at nighttime and then discharge it at the day, that would really help you get that peak down, right? Let's see how some of these work. So direct load control, the utility takes control of your appliances, all right, which is a little bit bothersome to some people. We control hot water heaters, your air conditioner via your thermostat. We can turn your hot tub pump on and off, your pool pump on and off. If you're a commercial operation like a 7-Eleven store, we can cycle your refrigerators, and we can actually, if you're a manufacturing facility like a garage with a lot of compressed air, that uses a lot of electricity to produce compressed air. All right, so we can do that. Now the idea is we're seeing that peak go up and up and up and up like this at the day, right? And all of a sudden we said, man, if I can push that magic red button, jam, and I've just turned off 10,000 hot water heaters, what's going to happen to my load? It's going to shoot right down, right? So there are all kind of program rules about how many minutes can a customer be off of service and how many times does a customer get picked. I mean, does he get picked every single day? That doesn't seem fair. So there's all kind of rules like that. But in order for that program to work, what do you got to have? You got to have a participation incentive by the consumer. He says, why am I going to let you turn off my hot water heater? You got to give me something back, right? So what we're going to give you for hot water heaters is $10. $10. That's not worth you got into my house to deal with, right? The problem here is, and we'll get to it later, the cost of electricity is really, really inexpensive. And the difference in the price of energy from the daytime compared to the nighttime differential is just not that great. It just isn't. If you will let us run your air conditioner, you've got two choices. Of course, you only have one now, but you initially had two choices. The first one was I'd give you $5 a month for June, July, August, and September, 4 months. But guess what? I could turn your air conditioner off in the month of May if I wanted to. But we don't anticipate doing that very much, so we don't give you $5. The other one was that we'll give you a programmable thermostat. Now that was really popular. That was really popular because as a consumer, you should have a programmable thermostat already, right? Because when you're gone to work, what should you do? Turn that air conditioner off a little bit, right? Same thing with your heater in the wintertime. Well, we stole the rules for this program from LG&E. We just copied them. Same vendors, same people that install the equipment. Well, they had a consumer have a house burned down. What did they blame it on? The thermostat. We had to pull out 3,400 thermostats and replace them. It was awful. You don't have that choice anymore, sorry. All right, this is pretty eye-opening if you ask me. These guys at the Department of Energy here in the state of Kentucky have assembled a lot of databases and pulled it all together. Now what we've got here is every one of these dots represents a different state. And we're going to start in 1960, so there's 50 dots represented right here.